I just remember getting on that plane, going to Oklahoma, meeting people. And I remember coming back, and I had to get on another plane and come back home. And I hated her all over again because she left me when I was a baby. She comes into my life and she leaves me again. I hated everybody. I hated everybody. I woke up angry. I went to bed angry. I hated everybody. And then the icing on the cake. My biological father comes to see me. This was the next Christmas. He comes to see me. So when I was 10, my biological mother. When I was 11, my biological father comes to see me. You're never going to guess. He's married. And he is taking care of his wife's daughter. And he comes to introduce the wife to me. And I am fuming. I'm fuming. I'm furious. He brings this woman and this little girl to the house with this pink sweater as a gift. And these niggas wanted me to be okay with all of this BS that was going on. I can't tell you that I was real nice because I wasn't. And the little girl and the lady had never done anything to me. They were caught in the crossfires because I couldn't wrap my mind around the fact that you, my biological father, couldn't get your shit together to take care of me, but you could get it together to marry some woman and help provide for her child, and then you bring them over and throw that in my face, and you want me to take this pink sweater as a peace offering? Man, please. I hated the world. I hated myself. I hated my biological parents. I hated the man that I called dad. I hated the woman that I was calling mom. The only person that I did not hate was mama. And you must be thinking, well, why didn't you hate this lady? Why did you love her so much? Because she loved me. She loved me. And I knew she loved me. And she cared for me. And she took care of me. Mama woke up every single day up until the day she died. Every single morning, this lady would get up and make me breakfast before I went to school. Every single morning from the time I started school till the time she passed away, she got up, she made me breakfast. She made my lunch. If I didn't take a lunch, she gave me lunch money. When I came home, I had a full course meal every night. She showed me how to clean my room. She showed me how to clean a house. And the one thing that really got me about her was she took me to church with her every Sunday. That she didn't drive, but we never missed a Sunday. And she introduced me to a man that I didn't know that I needed introduction to. Mama would be in her room and she would be behind closed doors, and I could hear her calling out different family members' names. And she would ask the Lord to save them or keep them or protect them, keep them from all hurt, harm, or danger. And she would sing these hymnals as she was cleaning the house. And she always started from the upstairs and worked her way down. She cleaned all three bathrooms, and she would all three bedrooms and the bathroom. Then she would clean the hallway and the steps. And then she would clean the living room and the dining room and the kitchen. And she would take all of the clothes and take them down to the basement and wash clothes. And she would cook Sunday dinners on Saturdays. At least she would start, especially if she cooked like greens or green beans. She would cook certain things on Sunday. And Mama was slew-footed, and she wore these muumuus, these house dresses, and she would always wear an apron, and the sweat would just be dripping off of her. And she was the happiest woman I had ever seen. She was full of joy and full of laughter, and she had her hair was salt and pepper, and she would wear them in these twists. Now, Nana was a hairstylist. She did hair as a trade, so she would press and curl Mama's hair for Sunday for church, and Mama would wear these hats. But when Mama was cleaning, she'd sweat those little finger curls or whatever she had in her hair. She would sweat those things out, and I knew that whoever she was talking about or talking to, that he had to be somebody amazing, because Mama wasn't married. She didn't have a husband. She didn't work. She took care of me. She took care of the house. And she took care of everybody else. And Sunday dinner was always at her house. Everybody came to her house for Sunday dinner. Holiday dinners, everybody came to her house, and she cooked everything. She was just amazing to me. But I felt the love from her. I knew she wanted me. If nobody else in that house, if nobody else in that family wanted me there, I knew she did. I always knew she did. And then one day, I was in the 8th grade. I was in the 8th grade. And I had spent the night over a friend's house. And my friend, Tiffany, I love Tiffany's mom. Her mom was beautiful. I always felt like I should have had a mom and a dad like her parents because they were just so well put together, and her mother was just absolutely beautiful. And Mama got sick, and I told Tiffany I had to go home, and I went home. And the whole family came over that night, that Sunday night. And I knew Mama was gonna be okay because she cussed me out for calling everybody. And the next day, something told me to stay home from school. And so I asked if I could stay home from school. And Mama told Nana what she wanted for breakfast. And Mama had to go to the bathroom. And she sat down on the toilet. And I remember her taking a breath. And she let the breath out. And I remember her taking another breath. And she let the breath out again. And I remember screaming. And Nana came upstairs. And she told me to call 911. And I did. And I remember calling the whole family, and I remember the paramedics taking her from the bathroom, and they laid her on the floor in her room. And I remember going and kneeling down beside her. And I remember before she took her last breath, she looked over at me and she told me that she loved all of her children. And when she died that day, I knew that my life in that household was never going to be the same ever again after that. And it wasn't. It wasn't. Mama was my protector, and she protected me from everything that she could and that she knew about. And when she died, it was like a part of me died too. I knew that the sexual abuse, and that had stopped because he moved out and he moved in with some other woman, so he wasn't even around. But I knew that the sexual abuse was just the cake. It wasn't even the icing on the cake, because I knew that there was people in that house that hated me. And I was right, because the physical abuse began. And they couldn't understand why I was angry. Nobody could understand. You jumping on a kid and fighting a kid. I remember I was still in the eighth grade. I had company over. And this particular female, I won't even say first name, but this particular female was pissed at me because me and some of my friends were were somewhere visiting, and a girl from my school had came over, and I told her don't come until I got home. She came over anyway, and this particular female called me upstairs. Now listen to this now. She calls me upstairs into the bedroom, and I have company downstairs. Girls from my school are downstairs. She pushes me on the bed and jumps on top of me and starts hitting me, pounding me in my face. But they didn't understand why I was angry. They didn't understand. They couldn't understand why I walked around with an attitude, why I was mad at the world. The stuff that they did to me, and then me finding out about my biological mother and father. Are you kidding me? All of this happened within the first 10, 11 years of my life. I stopped calling my mom, and I stopped calling my dad, because I didn't feel like they deserved those titles at all. There was nothing that I felt like that they had done that would deserve them to be called my parents. So I started seeking love and validation elsewhere, and I found it in a senior in high school, and that was my first sexual encounter. I was in the eighth grade, and he was a senior in high school. And so the hunt for love and validation starts to begin.